Hello everyone and welcome to my preview for the 2025 Giro, where I'm going to break down the key stages, sprint battle, GC favourites and make my useless predictions. So grab a coffee, hit that like and subscribe, and let's dive into this year's Giro d'Italia. Before we get into looking at my key stages for this year's Giro, I've got a confession to make. I am not inspired by the route for this year's Giro. It's taken on their typical crescendo into the final week like an opera, but I prefer a GC battle across the whole 3 weeks rather than just a couple of days in the final week. But anyway, here we are, and these are my 5 key stages, starting with stage 2's individual time trial, which realistically won't win it, but it will set the tone for the race. It's short, it's technical, it's got a punchy climb. I expect Josh Tarling or Van Aert to take their stage wins here, but it wouldn't surprise me if one Ayuso takes his first stage win at the Giro. Stage 9's gravel stage is my second stage. It's got 11 kilometres worth of gravel, so it's not a huge amount, but it can lose you the race. It's not going to be a stage that wins you the Giro. It's going to be a stage that loses the Giro. If you puncture, if you crash, positioning will be key and a lot of luck going into those gravel sectors. Day after in stage 10 is my next stage. Lucca to Pisa is a 28.6k individual time trial. It's flat, it's fast, it's going to suit Tarling for the stage win. And again, Roglič and Ayuso will put big time into the GC rivals, and it's hard to say what gap would be between the two of them. Maybe 20-30 seconds at most between Roglič and Ayuso. Into the final week and building to that crescendo though are the key stages. Stage 16's mountaintop finish to San Valentino arguably is the Queen stage. And it's got steep ramps, it's got the hard climb immediately before it. It's technical descent into the base of the final climb. This is where the GC battle is going to kick off for real. Roglič, Ayuso, Bernal, Aronsman, they're going to cause trouble somewhere up here surely. And finally we have the final stage, which I think is the Queen stage. Colle delle Finestre and a finish in Sestriere. What else could you ask for at the Giro? This is one of their tried and tested final stages before Milan, Turin, or wherever Rome. That's the other one. Infamous for the Finestre, gravel sector up on the upper slopes. It's hard, it's steep. We saw Simon Yates explode when Chris Froome ripped it apart and did a Landis in 2018. This is going to be where you win the Giro. The sprinter field is certainly an interesting one. You don't have Maglia, you don't have Milan, you don't have Philipsen or Gamay, but you do have Mads Pedersen, who will be a strong favourite for the sprint stages, but also the Maglia Ciclamino as well. He climbs well, he sprints well, he's consistent throughout the 3 weeks. I would firmly expect him to win the Ciclamino jersey and a couple of stage wins as well. But who is going to compete with him on those flat stages? Olav Koy is certainly the best place to do that. He's got Van Aert, who will be leading him out. Van Aert will also potentially challenge Ciclamino if he's found his sprint, of course. Quick Step, they've got the duo of Luc Lamperti and Paul Magnier, very promising sprinters. But who are they going to work for more? And are they going to have a full lead-out train for each other? Are they willing to work for each other? Q36-7 Matteo Moschetti, very good rider this year. He stepped up with Tom Pidcock to really lead the team. With Gerben Tyson, Zafir and Intermarché, they're providing the dark horse sprinters. I think the most challenging one for Pedersen will be Caden Groves. He can climb, I don't think as well as Pedersen. He can sprint, maybe a little bit better than Pedersen. It's going to be an interesting battle for Ciclamino. And then my final two dark horses, well, not dark horses, sprinters are Arnaud Fretin and Sam Bennett. What do I expect? I expect stage wins to be thrown around across everywhere, and Mads Pedersen is going to win the Ciclamino jersey. And now we come to the big one. Who I think is in a position to win the Maglia Rosa at the end of the Giro. For me, there's only two riders that can win. Primož Roglič and Ayuso are the main contenders, and they've got very different skill sets and abilities that is going to make it a very interesting GC battle. Ayuso will have the strongest team. He's got an all-round skill set with the best TT amongst the riders at the Giro, minus Van Aert and Tarling. He'll attack the mountains, and I think he'll try and build a lead early and hold it until the finish. And Primož Roglič will look to ride defensively. He's got a strong team as well, don't get me wrong, but it's not quite as strong as UAE, so he'll look to ride defensively, use his team wisely, and eventually pick those stages he wants to build the gap or close the gap on Ayuso. Behind them, there's a lot of contenders. UAE have a couple, Bora have a couple. UAE come with Yates and Del Toro. Both of them, I think, are dark horses to do a GC. If on form, Adam Yates could podium. He could even probably win the race. But he's not on the form this year, so it's really hard to say he's going to be this rider. And Del Toro, new to it, I don't see him fighting for the GC. I see them using him as a satellite rider. Bora come with Martinez, who finished in the podium last year, and Jai Hindley, who won it a couple of years ago. They should use them aggressively. If Del Toro goes up the road as a satellite rider, send Martinez or Hindley. You know, force UAE to think, but I don't think they will. I think they'll ride around Primož Roglič. The big battle for me, for the podium, will come from the Ineos Grenadiers. They've had a fantastic reborn year. Something is definitely brewing over at the British team's household. And they come with Bernal and Arnsman. Bernal, I think, is a very much dark horse to podium. Arnsman will be used as Arnsman does. Hopefully he's not a third week specialist anymore. Behind them you've got Gaudu, G, Carapaz, Landa, Ciccone, Tiberi, Piganzoli. They'll make up the rest of the GC battle. I think Tiberi's out of form. I don't see him following the illness competing for a podium, top 5 though maybe. G would be a very good aggressive card to play for Israel Premier Tech. And Landa will look to be aggressive as well, as this is his GC chance. There are two riders that I think will go for GC, but I don't think they should, are Michael Storer and Tom Pidcock. They're new wildcard teams for the Giro. I think they should go for stage wins, and by mixing it up for stage wins, they'll probably find their way into the top 10-15 on GC anyway. But I firmly expect them to go for GC, and they've got a decent team to be able to do it. As I've already said, I've kind of given away my prediction for third place. I think Egan Bernal isn't a dark horse to win the race, but I think he'll podium, and he might even cause Ayuso and Roglič some problems. The problem is he can't time trial to save his life. So who do I think is going to win the Giro? I think it's going to be close. I think it's not much is going to separate Roglič and Ayuso, but I picked Ayuso at the start of the year, and I haven't seen anything to suggest that he's not going to win this year. I think he'll build a gap early, and he'll try and hold that gap, similar to what Remco did at the Vuelta. Roglič, he'll be consistent. I just can't see him gaining time or gaining enough time to win the Giro, but it wouldn't surprise me. It's very close between the two of them. So there you have it, my full prediction of the key stages and battles that will come for the Giro d'Italia. Let me know your picks in the comments. Don't forget to hit that subscribe to see post-stage breakdowns, rest day reviews, and more cycling both on and off the bike. Thanks, and I'll see you soon.